Father God, I ask in this moment, Lord, that you just hear our hearts, Lord. Lord, I thank you for bringing a woman remnant like us. You know, we went through a storm of sorts, whatever it looked like, but you called us to be the remainder, God, to have the voice, Lord, that is going to reach the people, Lord. Lord God, I ask that you use this time together for your will, Lord. Let nothing be set off of our own flesh, but off your will, Lord.
Oh, yes.
God, I ask that you cover us right now from the crown of our heads, Lord, to the sole of our feet, Lord. Lord, we know that this is gonna move mountains and the enemy's not gonna be happy. So I ask that you cover us in completion, Lord. Lord God, that the words that come off our lips, Lord, be touched by the person in need that hears it, Lord. Lord, I thank you for this time together, Lord. I ask that you continue to pour out into us, God. We ask that you just continue to be in the center of all we do, Lord. Surround us, surround our children, surround our families, Lord. And I thank you for what you will do. I pray this all in your mighty name. Jesus, amen.
Amen. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mental Uplift, where we are a faith-based podcast where we discuss mental health, self-care, and everything life-related. My name is Britney, I'm your host, and we have two amazing women of God here with us. And today we are going to do things a little bit different in honor of Mother's Day. We are going to be talking about how motherhood is kingdom work. And our special guest today, we have Jianna and we have Le'ann, two very important women in my life. I'm so happy to have you guys here with me today. So we're going to dive deep into that topic in hopes that someone out there can receive what we are talking about today. So I'm going to start off with an icebreaker. And the first question is, how long have you been a mom, and what is your go-to meal for your babies?
I can start.
Okay.
So I've been a mom for 3 years now, going on to 4 in September. Favorite food, we can count with one hand. So we have really been into pizza, chicken nuggets, and pasta. We survive off of those 3. That is pretty much it.
Yeah.
I have been a mom going on 3 years in August. And right now my kids are in 2 different stages. So my oldest, he's entering that same stage of, I just want French fries or I just want chicken nuggets. And then my little one, his thing is rice and French fries. So
French fries.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Put ketchup on it.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, for me, some may know, some may not know. I have been a mom. It's going to be 4 years in November this year. So that's crazy. And a go-to food for my toddler, definitely chicken tenders and fries, or
Staple.
pizza. Or she likes her favorite is the dinosaur nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Like that
Yes,
alone
we
with like
love
fruit or
those.
yogurt
Yes.
is just a hit for her.
I like them
But-
all like, yes. We're all in
Because
that
I'll throw some in there for me too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care. And as far as, so we have 2 kids, like only 2 months apart,
Literally.
and they're entering the eating, so they eat everything.
Yeah.
Breast milk, but most
Yeah.
kids everything, honestly. Anything there. But the first thing I want to talk about is just the fact that we have to remember that motherhood really is kingdom work, and that is deep, right? And so sometimes we get lost in motherhood, and like, what does that look like when serving? So I'll go first. Like for me, when I think of kingdom work, I think of like serving in the church, being active in the church and participating. But for a while I couldn't, because I had, Ava, and I felt like I couldn't sign up to serve because I was, I just have to be with the baby.
Yeah.
I have to just care for the baby.
Yeah.
Or when you breastfeed, you have to be available, like at all, just at any moment they need you. So, but remembering that in that season where I was just taking care of Ava, that was my calling in that time, in that season. And that is our calling in these current seasons. And we just have to remember that.
Yeah.
So that's like the first thing I wanted to talk about, and like what that looks like for you guys. Like, have you ever gotten lost in, oh, well, I'm just a mom. Like, oh, like, you even get secluded or like isolated from plans because you're a mom. Oh, I didn't invite you because you have the kids. And it's like, okay.
What that means.
Come with me, So just like kind of like if you have any experiences on that. I know for me, where I felt like, oh, I'm just lost in motherhood, it was just, I would just wake up, go to work, and then it's all the kids, and then go to sleep. After like the nighttime routine, it's the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
And then when I am going out and making plans, you know, to do things, it's like Sesame Place, the park. You know, like
I feel that.
not being intentional on
Yeah.
like setting time to do things as women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I still find myself trying to figure out like a womanly activity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, aside from like getting your nails done and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
So I guess like what was a time where you felt like really consumed with being a mom, where you felt like I can't do anything else and I don't know how to go about this?
I could go first.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just now coming out of that season because I was a stay-at-home mom for a whole year.
Yeah.
So a little backstory, I got pregnant, I had a miscarriage and got pregnant, and that pregnancy was my first son. And with him, you know, when it's your first pregnancy, everyone loves you, everyone wants to love on the baby. So even though I was in that like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety of like state of aloneness, there was a crowded room.
Yeah.
So it was like reassuring to an extent, like, okay, I'm going to get through this because I have people. But after my second son was born, I was really alone because like a second kid, sad to say, no one is going to be excited the way you are, as, like to that level, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when he was born, I remember I kind of had that state of like, okay, I went to the postpartum. I cannot put myself in that state again.
Yeah.
So I would go outside. Every day we were outside. And then I broke my foot. And it was like isolation hit like that.
No.
And I remember he was 2 months and my son wasn't even 2 years old. And I had both of them alone every day by myself. Couldn't go nowhere. And I didn't have anybody. Everyone was busy with their lives. So that isolation. And then it's like, well, I'm just a mom because I don't have a job.
Yeah.
I'm here taking care of them. And I'm by myself. So how do I get myself out of that? And understanding like that balance of like, I got to choose me sometimes. I got to find time. So really going through the thick of that, what really got me through, honest to God, is reading my Bible and talking to Jesus. Because in that state, like you don't have, like the kids are looking at you like, well, I need you. So I don't know what you got going on, but get it together because I'm hungry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would get up super early. I would read my Bible. I would pray. And while they're sleeping, I'm taking my time to fill myself up and kind of like set the tone for the day. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I'm filling myself up spiritually. I got to fill myself up mentally. So then I started going to therapy. And that was a whole other thing that really changed my dynamic of like taking an hour a week and just speaking to someone and pouring that out so I can pour back into myself. So
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
important.
good.
That's
Yeah.
really
That
important.
is,
The
that
pouring
is.
out.
Wow.
For you to, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's good. So you have more experience on the like stay-at-home mom. Like
Absolutely. Because after I got pregnant the first time, I had the miscarriage. I left my job during my pregnancy, didn't know I was pregnant. Because it just like, I knew something was up. Mentally, I wasn't okay. Like 2 weeks later, found out I was pregnant. So I wasn't working. And then I got pregnant 2 months later. And during the time I still wasn't working. And then it was like, okay, I have to find a job. Started working at the church and I was only working 3 days a week.
Okay.
So I had 4 days where I'm home.
Yeah.
So then I had him, was, you know, working in church. Cool. Fast forward, after I got pregnant with my second son, I never went back because then I broke my foot. I was out for months.
Yeah.
So by the time I was like ready to go back, I wasn't ready to go back.
Yeah.
And then God provided, and now I'm full-time working while full-time mom.
I bet.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
We love that.
amazing. So, in being a stay-at-home mom, like, do you feel like there are different views people have for stay-at-home moms? Like, oh, she's a stay-at-home mom, so this is what, like, you know how some people say, like, not saying you, but some people say, like, oh, well, they don't have a job, so they must have it easy.
Girl, absolutely. I think, and full transparency, I feel like that was the perception for a little bit of my time that my husband was like that. Like, he would be like, oh, well, at least you're home. Like, you know, you get to sleep in and your job, because, like, his job is vigorous. Like, he's, you know, heavy lifting, heavy machinery all day. So his body's physically tired. But my mental is physically, like, mentally tired.
That's
so.
an opposite kind of roles. It was like, yes, he's physically tired, but I'm mentally tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So his perception was very different. But coming out of that full-time, like staying home, I
Mhm.
got reassurance from like people I would speak to. Even my boss today, when I interviewed for the position, I was like, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. And she was like, no.
Right.
You're a
Just
stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I explained to her just like the things that I've done with my son, you know, teaching
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
like, she's like, girl, that's a job.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It
and
is
then
a
It
job.
literally is.
I remember even doing like I got certified to become a doula. And
Okay.
during those classes, like we had to introduce ourselves, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I work in the hospital, I work in school," and I'm like, "I'm home with my kids," and they're like, "Okay." So yeah,
I feel like that perception is changing now a
Yeah.
little though, which I do love.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
is being encouraged more to be there and stay home with your kids if you can do that.
the reality is too, nannies are expensive,
Girl.
and we're doing it for free.
That's
Yeah.
what I was literally saying. We were talking about that because there was a time where I was like, I don't want to work. So I'm
Yeah.
a work from home, stay at home mom. I guess he was like, I'm
yeah.
doing both.
Yeah,
So
me.
yeah, there's a lot in that. And it's difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because like for one, daycare is super expensive.
absolutely.
To just put them in daycare. But why would I work overtime or extra hours to put them in a daycare when I can just
Be with
eat
them.
up the whole cost and I can do it myself,
Yeah.
right? So literally a nanny makes, I think on average, $40,000 to like $45,000 a year.
Like what?
Yeah.
That's a regular like full-time job at
Yeah.
like minimum. Well, I don't know what minimum wage is now. I don't know.
Well, I know when I looked into a nanny, it was like $25 an hour.
Yes, and
Like, are
it's
you-
like
I
I'm
don't-
sitting here like
Yeah.
paying you to do it. I mean, it all depends on like.
Daycare for me was roughly a month.
Okay.
A month. It was $1,200.
Wow.
When he was a
that's a
baby.
mortgage.
When I tried looking for preschool level,
Mm.
it is now when I called around, like, you know, in the area, it's average 2,000.
Wow.
Yes. So it is
What?
It is a lot of money.
That's half my bill.
Yes.
Like that's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. And I did it for a while. I paid that $1,200 for a while. You know this. I had like the
Yeah.
2 jobs.
Wow.
Well, yeah, like I did my regular, you know, 9 to 5, and then in the weekends, I used to work at a small family-owned like restaurant.
Oh, I
Okay.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I did waitressing there, and
Wow.
then all that extra money would be like our fun money because everything else went, you know, towards bills and daycare pretty much. And then
Oh wow.
the weekend, it was fun money, but not really because
you're
I would
working.
work in the weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
it was weird to balance that out. But
So is your son is he in a daycare or preschool now?
so he's in a Head Start program. Thankfully, they accepted him into
Praise the
one,
Lord.
That's
and
good.
So I get help.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. That was my next question. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
The next topic we have here. So we talked about like being a mom, how does kingdom work? And for me, I have some things I want to pour into you guys, right? So I don't know if you guys ever heard of like everyone says, oh, like you have to be a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes.
You know, like that whole like thing they put on social media and
Yes.
stuff, where it does like make you realize like, okay, let me go back and read it. So one day I read it.
Yeah.
So I don't have everything verbatim, but I have a few characteristics and qualities that you have as a Proverbs 31, you know, woman. So we have here wisdom and skill, being family focused, Lord fearing, and being worth more than rubies. So that's what stood out to me. So something I wanted to remind you guys of is that when we look at the value of one ruby at the smallest carat, it's no less than $1 million. Yeah, you're worth so much more than that. So
Yeah.
I think that's something that I struggle with as a mom, realizing my worth and how much I guess matter.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I say like, oh, like I'm a mom and I do this all day and I care for them and I breastfeed, and like even something like breastfeeding, it's like it's so big. It is really big,
is.
but yet it's for me. It just feels like, oh, like not that I have to
We
do
just
this.
undermine stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pouring into kids.
Literally.
Yes.
And so I guess I just want to make sure, like, for people watching, like, moms definitely do struggle with kind of remembering their worth and, like, reminding themselves of that. So, like, what is something you do to remind yourself as far as, like, I don't know, like, just reminding yourself, okay, I am worthy, so this is what I'm going to do for myself type of thing. Like, for me, right?
Yeah.
When I feel like I've done so much and, like, I'm burnt out and I need something, maybe I shouldn't wait until I'm burnt out. But
We often do that.
Yeah, it's like when I'm running on E, something I'll do is like I'll make sure I I'll pamper myself. I'll get my nails done. Well, they're not done now, but let me see. But I'll pamper myself. Like I'll get my nails done or eyebrows done or just different things like that to remind myself that like, I don't know, like I'm doing a great job and like I deserve this. Yeah. But there's been times where like I'll go shopping and then like I go straight to the kids aisle, right? And not the women's aisle, right? So like we have to try sometimes.
Literally, you really called me out. Actually, I didn't even realize that.
It's literally true, and we don't realize it. Like I'll go into Target, and then I'm going straight to like the kids
women's section's the first thing you see.
Yeah, but yet we go straight past it. So it's like we have to remind ourselves that like yes, they have everything they ever need. All of our kids, like they have everything they need, want, and more. Yeah. So it's okay to pour into yourself. It's okay to go ahead and go to the women's section and like splurge on yourself because you know. If we say like, oh, I'm going to go and splurge and go shopping, but then we spend $100 and $75 is for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So like, just remember like you are worth it. Even in the Bible, it does say like the women of God, like we're worth so much more than we think. And so that goes back to like being worth more than a ruby. For me, it like puts it into a perspective, like a small, tiny thing is worth so much, but to God, we're worth so much more. And what we're doing is pleasing him by raising our children the way that we are. And so it's important too, like the way we are raising them, it's not easy, right? We have moms that are just like, oh, do whatever you want. Grandma. And it's like, right? Like, and no shame to any moms, but at the end of the day, there are, I guess, standards you do have to meet as a mom. Like I mean, the bare
Bible
minimum
itself speaks on it too. It's not, you know, the constant guiding too. Maybe it's because I'm also newer in my faith, but managing my own faith while also introducing my son to his and guiding him. That is very difficult because oftentimes when you're newer, or at least that's how I feel, like attacks do come in very often.
Absolutely.
Very often. And so modeling that for my son into what I do when these attacks come, you get what I'm saying? Like it's definitely very difficult to do that. Because it's kind of like when you're overwhelmed and you're like, I need to just calm down, and then you're also trying to calm down like a screaming
oh my gosh, story of my life.
It feels like that, but faith, you know, adding the element of faith into it, it is very difficult because I often have that in mind that I'm like, I have to model this for him while I'm learning myself. And it's rough.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. And you feel all the pressure, right?
It's like, how am I supposed to instruct and teach you when I'm still learning how to be instructed and taught?
Yes.
Right? Like, how am I supposed to tell you, don't do this, but I'm still struggling with like a deeper, you know, version of what we're teaching them, right?
Yep.
So it's definitely hard, but God honors your, you know, your yes. And being a mom and guiding them in that way is a big yes, right?
Yes.
Like, that's a commitment. That's something that, like, for me, I was brought up in a Pentecostal household. Like, the whole thing was, like, poured into me. And I'm grateful that my mom did teach me certain things while I did, you know, inherit trauma through certain, like, you know how Pentecostal churches are. It's like going straight to hell for something. But, you know, nonetheless. It just, the importance of what she taught me, it, like, stood with me. So as I grew older, I always came back. Even when I was like living on my own and living in sin, it was like I still came back. So what we're doing by pouring into our kids, it's doing a service to them.
It's that foundation, setting that foundation that no matter how far he strays, I know he will always come back.
Yes.
And you have that faith, like you have that certainty because you're working on that foundation for them.
That's good.
So good. I love this.
No, for real.
I'm so happy that we're doing this because a lot of moms, like, we talk about these things to like our like friends and things like that. But like there's like we have each other, right?
Yeah.
But not every woman has that. Right?
Yeah.
And like
so true.
or sometimes for me when I first had Ava, I experienced postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety and I struggled with like intrusive thoughts. But I never told anyone because I'm like, am I tripping?
Am I crazy? I think this is how we bonded.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. No. I was like, girl, like, what is happening to me right now? Like, and then it's just, you're a mom, but then you have to be like a wife, a friend. You have to be like it's just so hard to juggle all of it.
Yes.
Like, you know, like, okay, I'm wearing the mom hat today.
You have so many
Like-
hats that it's difficult to find the hat that is yours. That
Ooh.
is you.
Yes, your own.
That's so
Hard.
accurate.
It's hard. It's very
Yeah.
hard. I'm going through that season even now. And
Tough.
it's tough.
I
It's
think
tough.
the beauty of it though is because the question that you asked was like, how do you find what like
Yeah,
time
like
to-
how do you find time like just to remind yourself that you are worthy? Like just like
Yeah.
pouring into yourself. Like what does that look like
Okay.
for you? Like
So I think it kind of like trickles into like a triangle effect of what we're
Mhm.
saying here. The reality of it is like being connected to like-minded people, like-minded women who are going through the same thing, serving the same like purpose, and
yes.
which is really just raising up kingdom men, kingdom women, and
Mm.
trying to navigate what you look like as a kingdom woman is
Yes.
important too. But
Yeah.
the reality of it is like it's never going to be easy, and I genuinely feel like I got through my season because you went through your season.
Yes.
You
And
know-
that
you
was, that literally that was me and Britney too.
Don't make me
Right?
cry.
Yes.
Like, that's too much.
Yes.
But it's true.
It really
if you think
is
about it,
true.
like, and even after we went through,
Mm.
I always held on to that. Like,
Yeah.
I will never forget grieving a loss of a baby that I never met, while having to accept the fact that I'm going to have another baby,
Mm.
and knowing that no one understands this, and I have to get my like head around that. But I genuinely know that I got through that because you were in my life. Like and then even as you know, we went through what we went through, we fell off, but I always held on to that. Like she got me through that season,
Yeah.
and then you know I went through with Angie, and she, you know, I held on to like what you went through was because of for me, and
Yeah.
what I went through with your help is now what I'm gonna pour into her,
And then
Yeah.
she gets to trickle it
Yeah.
down.
and
to
she's
someone
doing
else.
that for someone
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so like God makes no mistakes, and you know God knew what He was doing when He pulled you back.
Yeah.
God knew He was doing when He pulled you back, and
Yeah.
then now I'm having chills, Lord.
Yeah.
And then to like have a moment where we're sitting together in this
Yeah.
and being able to speak on this and being vulnerable and transparent
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
fact that like we're raising these kids to know the Lord, but we're still figuring out who we are as children of God.
Yes.
Mhm.
And those
Yes.
attacks come every day.
Yeah.
Girl, just because you knew, don't, I'm going to tell you, I've been in this walk for commitment, like fully committed, maybe 3 years now. And I'm still going through it to this day.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
The fact that you like say, Lord, like I'm holding on, and I'm going to,
Yeah.
like you said, like though they stray away, they'll always come
Yeah.
back. And though like the attacks are coming, I'll always stay strong in
Yeah.
my faith, and I'll always stay planted and where God is calling me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like community is what gets me out of the
Yeah. And you
Seriously.
know what? I'm someone who
Seriously.
who battles like, oh, if I should just keep it to myself, right? Because you
Yeah.
don't want to be a burden,
girl.
right? Like, oh, like for me, I'd rather carry
Yeah.
everything. Like it's so heavy, and I'm
Yeah.
carrying it on my own. But then when I share it, you know, and there's,
Yeah.
you know, with trauma, you get scared to share it.
Yeah.
But like, I think with everyone in this room, we know pushing through trauma and being able to communicate and express like what we're going through really does get you out of that slump.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Right? Like for me, it
really
was
does.
like, hey, like when I first had Ezra, I was like, hey, I'm like, I don't know, like I don't even know what I feel, right? And just
Yeah.
like uplifting one another, like it goes a long way. And we
Yeah.
actually have an episode coming out where we talk about there's deeper reasons to what, like, okay, people have emotions that we see, right? So we see someone that's angry, that's sad, that's hurt or
Yeah.
anxious, but there's always a reason why.
Yes.
And there's a deeper
Yes.
reason as to what is causing that emotion.
Yes.
And sometimes all it takes is well, do you want to talk about
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you're feeling this way? Or even if someone can, they're not at the capacity to share because certain things are traumatic to have to
Yeah.
relive it, to reshare it. It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But just as simple as saying like, I need like a woman of God to cover me right now.
Yes.
Like I can't give you, you've done this before, right? Like I don't have the words to say, but just pray for me.
Yes.
And then when you're ready,
She knows. I call her. I'm like,
Yeah.
FaceTime. I'm like, Brittany, I just need
Yeah.
someone. Like, I don't know how to explain what I feel or how I'm
Mhm.
feeling, but I just need someone to intercede for me right now. Like, prayer,
Yeah.
prayer. That's why when you said community, that speaks to me because I heavily, when I had postpartum depression as well, I heavily isolated.
Oh yeah.
And now that I'm kind of coming out of that fog now and into my faith, now it's completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Yeah.
like, I heavily rely on my village
Praise the Lord.
and
Yeah.
on the women in my life.
Yeah.
And they're all like prayer, Brittany knows, like prayer warriors
I
and
love
like,
that.
and they come to my house and they pray over me and they come and anoint my house. Like it's
awesome.
that kind of community. I would have, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said no.
Yeah, that's not
Absolutely
happening.
not. That's not happening. I would have never. Only God can do that, and He has placed people in my life at very strategic points of motherhood, of womanhood, very, very strategically, and I don't even realize it until like
it's already happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you sit there or something, you're like, wait,
That was on time.
okay,
Oh yeah. No, that's very accurate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is good. This is really good. And it just goes to show, though, that, like, we really have to stick together. And I think a lot of women, like, still to this day carry, like, oh, well, like, I don't know, like, you know, like the perception of some women think they're better than other women, or that constant, like, jealousy or
and sometimes
envy.
it's even just us that feel that way. Like I've noticed that I'm like, why am I placing this label on a woman before I even know what she truly feels? And you know, like we do that often. And I was that kind of person. Like when we were talking about it, we opened up, but it was after kind of like testing the water. You know what I mean? But we often put labels on people like before we even, like, I'm already placing you in that mindset when I don't even know if you have that mindset to begin with.
That's so accurate. Well, I was texting her and I was like, I'm kind of nervous because I haven't seen Le'ann since like high school.
Yeah.
She knows a girl that is not me. I don't know. That's like the girl that was in high school I'm so far from that I'm like, she's gonna be like,
oh, me too, girl. It's okay. Don't worry. We're completely different. Like that's a whole different ball game, and we all know how high school was, so it's okay, girl.
Valid. Very valid.
That was.
But that's the beauty of growth, and honestly, the beauty of finding your faith and becoming a mom. Because I really feel like those two marker points are like really what transforms
and they center you.
Yes.
Because you become confident in that as well.
Absolutely.
That's almost like a big foundation in the way you present to the world.
Yeah.
Because in high school, well, I was not, I didn't even know who I was during that time. I really didn't. But now I go places. And to be honest, my mindset before was I'm gonna hide as much of myself as I can, because I didn't know my worth. But now through God, seeing that and reading and Him telling me consistently, like He loves me, I walk into people and places with a purpose.
I know that's right.
And you just you go with that, like so it really does change.
Yeah,
that's good. I love that.
That's what's so important. I don't know, like faith, it really is a key point in motherhood.
Absolutely.
No matter what no one will ever convince me otherwise, because it's the same. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have gotten through
Absolutely.
through it. I really wouldn't have. I wouldn't have seen the light.
I agree. And I think too, like the fact that you acknowledge that almost ties to like understanding that what we do is kingdom work. And I never looked at it like that. I'm gonna be honest. Like I would text her like, girl, I can't do this. I don't want to do this no more. Like, this is too much. And, like, just that reminder that, like, wiping that baby's booty, taking that baby a bath, feeding that baby, that is kingdom work. You are serving the Lord by upbringing His children. And in that, you're walking in what God is calling you. It's beautiful. It is. So I really, like, that's a reminder that I feel like a lot of moms need, because I didn't have that. Like, what you're doing for these children is not by mistake. Like, that in itself, literally, think about it. You go to that time, you have the baby, you're in diapers for a series of time. So you're not going out into the world. You know, we both in diapers right now. Like, please. And in that time, like, you're isolated in the house. You're not able to go to church. You're not able to go out into prayer and go into community. So that's when the attacks come.
Yes.
But that's when the reminders are needed. That like, oh no, you don't need the church building. Yes. This right here is
in
church.
Your house.
Yes.
In the community, like it's really important who you surround yourself around, right?
Yes.
So like to go back to what I had mentioned, where like women have that preconception of other women based on like past experiences or like who they surround themselves with. Like for me, I'm very picky on who I allow in. Yes. If you know me, you know I'm very like, no, you did this, you crossed the line, and we're done, right?
Yeah.
But there is beauty in going back to that, right? Like we can touch on that topic where it's like, if I would have never, and because of faith and because of God, like if I would have never forgiven or moved past certain things, we would not be here right now, right?
No.
And so it's important as women, like I encourage anyone watching if you have someone in your life that are worth it and you love them and there's a situation happening right now, relationships are worth fighting for.
Yes.
Right? Like, I depend on her a lot for many different topics like that we talk about. And same for you. Like, if we had a fall off,
Yeah.
I'm going in like, hey,
Yeah.
what's going
We're
on
not
here,
giving up.
right?
Like, yeah.
But the enemy
Yeah.
tries to creep in
Absolutely,
strong,
yes.
you know, God and God-centered friendships.
Yeah.
He tries to go in and create lies,
Yeah.
and he'll send people your way that will cause a divide, right?
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful who you are allowing in, who you're sharing your business with,
Absolutely.
right? And as women, I feel like, especially at our grown age, we should not be sharing other people's information, right? So let's say you come to me in confidence, I'm not gonna go to anyone else and share what you're sharing, right? And sadly, it still happens. So like, if anyone is watching this, like, if you have anybody in your life like that, pray for them, but just you know, just be
Use
mindful of
discernment,
who
yeah.
you allow in your life,
And especially
right?
when you like mix like kids in that's
that's hard.
very difficult to navigate because people often think that, I don't know, for example, like if I leave Mateo with like, I don't know, I don't leave Mateo anywhere.
That's
like,
I
don't leave Mateo anywhere. But, you know, if there ever were like a situation where someone feels entitled to maybe share something about my child on social media, I'm very big on like I limit what I post on social media.
Same.
You know, with him. And so that is scary.
Yeah.
Because
It
people
is.
often feel like they have that like
Upper hand or
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Entitlement,
Yeah.
like,
That's crazy. I remember when me and you first got connected, and Ava was so little, and I knew you did not play. I would be scared to take pictures with her. Like, oh, no, she don't want this baby nowhere. Like, we keep her in the moment. So I understand what you mean. Like, even with family, oh, send me that picture. For what?
Yeah.
You see him right now.
Yeah.
Why you want the picture?
That's all you need.
Right.
That's all you need.
it's scary because I've had a situation where like I've had fallen like relationships, like families and different things like that, where I would have a picture of Ava and then I would find out later so-and-so has it. How did a picture that happened over here
In my
life,
life.
in my life, how do you have it in your camera roll like generations down? And I never gave consent to that, right? Like these are daily struggles that we have as moms, and like that weighs so much. Like for me, with social media being as big as it is, I'm like super like hyper aware of like who has pictures of my kids, because why do you want so many pictures of my kids, right?
And
Like,
what are you doing?
What are you
with
doing
those?
with that? And who are you
Absolutely.
showing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like no one talks about these things.
And for the moms, like, don't be afraid to set boundaries.
And those who don't respect them or try to understand them, that's a red flag. You need to address
Walking
that.
red flag.
I think the sad part about it though is we have that like-minded like approach on it simply because of the things we've gone through, the things.
Yes.
Sorry, it's okay. we have that approach because of the things like we've gone through, the things that we've faced, or even just knowing what the world is about.
Yes.
Not wanting that for our kids.
Yeah.
Simple. Where some people turn a blind eye, are ignorant, and just choose not to like try to understand like, oh, well, there are sick people in this world, or there are people who have bad intentions for your
And
children.
even with that, like, I felt like I grew up too quickly because I was not monitored as a child. I really wasn't. And we grew up in kind of the era where all of this was just beginning. So everything was
Literally,
new
oh my God, with the
and
test,
like,
the
you know what I mean? And that, me thinking back, I'm like, that is absolutely scary.
Insane. Especially for our kids.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
So now that I'm a mom, now I'm more aware of that. And I'm like, okay, we're not doing the same. I'm not doing that to my child, because the things that I knew at the age that I knew them, I shouldn't have known that. I shouldn't have been exposed to that. So,
But that's part of our testimony, and I try to like remind myself that although we've endured that, thank God we endured that, because our babies will never
know it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like we have to remind ourselves of that, because I've gone through a lot. We all have. All of us in our chairs have gone through a lot of things, and it's a beautiful thing when you meet someone else and you can relate to them. Like, wait, God, like this happened to me, but now I get to help somebody else that just went through it, or is going through it, or they went through it and the trauma's resurfacing, right? Like you get to help someone else. And so
Yeah.
it's hard though. It really is hard
Yeah.
when you're in the midst of that season of like, why did this happen to me? It's hard to see the goodness in that.
Yes.
But like if you're going through something right
Speak on that,
now,
girl. Yes.
yeah, if you're going through something right now, like, and it's hard for you to process,
Yeah.
like the why, just know that later on you're gonna see, like you're gonna be able to look back on it and see like, okay, this is why this had to happen.
He'll give you
right?
the answers.
Like everyone, like a year ago from today, things were different for me with a
Absolutely.
lot of relationships in
Yeah.
my life. Like my own mom, right?
Yeah.
And even our friendship, like a
Yeah.
year ago, things weren't, you know, where they are now.
Yeah.
But had those things not happened, our relationship with people would not be where they are today.
Absolutely.
So like, don't take that with a grain of salt, right? Like
Yeah.
everything that happens for a reason. And you're meant to experience these hardships to be able to help someone else. And it's your testimony.
Yes.
And the enemy will try to lie to you, right? Because I've gone through things and then like randomly I'm having fun. It's like a good moment and the enemy's like, yeah, remember when that happened? First of all,
This has happened to me.
like, and it's like random and it sucks because it's like, why am I thinking about that? That
Yeah.
was years ago. Or
Yeah.
why am I thinking like just random things? Like
I've learned to vocalize it when that happens. I'd be like,
Good.
no, you
No.
didn't.
Yeah.
You had
Just
to
like
call it
to
out for what it
call
is.
it out.
mm,
And that's
Wow.
it.
not today.
It's hard. Yeah, I'd be like,
Not right now.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the enemy does especially when you're walking so planted,
Mhm.
so firm, and you're finally seeing the answers to your prayers.
Yes.
The enemy's gonna try to take any opportunity to seep in.
Yes.
Yes. So I do have one specific question for you, Le'ann, right?
Yes,
Because
sure.
there's a lot of women who are young and they are single moms, and there's this like people get scared of the stigma, right, of
Yes.
being a single mom. Like, how did you navigate that when it first happened? Like, and how do you currently navigate it? Just talk
Yeah.
to me about it a little bit.
So the initial, well, you were with me through that stage where I really felt, quite frankly, before I began in my faith or began again in my faith, I felt like baggage. I basically felt that no one would ever love me because I have, I have a kid. And oftentimes, even with socials, they often spew a lot of rhetorics. I would say if you're a single mom, or especially a newly single mom, stay off the socials. And I don't mean this lightly because the way it damaged my self-worth, it felt like it was obviously nothing is impossible for God.
Amen.
But at that time, I didn't know that. I didn't have that relationship with him. So I took it as truth. And anywhere I went, anything I did, I placed that on myself. I was like, no matter what I do, no matter where I go, like I'm always just going to be seen as a single mom and as baggage.
Wow.
And I think my biggest advice is really that, like, if you're a newly single mom, do not, like, stay off the socials and start building your village. Like, I know we used to come at our moms probably. I don't know about y'all, but my mom used to always have a saying in Spanish where she's like, dime con quien anda y te diré
And I'll
quién
tell you,
eres,
yep.
and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
But they're right because you want people that pour life into you. You want people who have that, that understand the power of the tongue.
Yes.
And how like
Absolutely.
heavy that is. So I would say build that village. Don't be afraid to find that community.
Yeah.
Mine was literally we reconnected through Instagram.
I love that.
So, not being afraid to say, hey, are you going through this as well? Or when you did go through this, how did you go through it? It sounds like not a big deal, but when you're in the thick of it,
It's hard.
that is helpful. Seeing someone say, oh no, I understand. You're like,
Literally. Yeah.
you can breathe. So yeah, I would say that's a big thing, and like standing on business with God too. Like you gotta lock in. It's hard, but you gotta lock in. And as a single mom, that doesn't have that much help. Locking in is even more important because I had my Bible time while Mateo was playing. or while he was up. And so you're going to get distracted 20 million times, but it's consistency is not about giving 100%. It's about giving something, some kind of percent at least every day.
Yeah.
I wasn't always 100%.
Yeah.
I wasn't always 100% attentive to what I was reading, but I was reading.
I know
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's what's important. So yeah, I think those are my two biggest pieces of
Yeah,
advice
that's good.
if you're a single mom.
And that is a very hard thing to do, is to be a single mom, right? Like I saw my mom be a single mom for a long time, and seeing her, like, I don't know how she did it, because like I have my husband and I'm like, I'm tired. So I can't imagine like what you're going through. Like I'm here for you. Like,
Yeah, same.
like one call away. Like don't, again, let's get rid of that burden feeling, right? Like let's do our best to push like past that, because I'm somebody who's like, oh, I don't want to bother them. Like, I got so much going on, and or I don't want to be that friend. I don't want, like, no, it's okay if you are that friend. Bring the problems like to your community, to your circle, and just.
I like that you say that too, because I had a season where I kind of was like down and out, felt really heavy, and I was told something that now I hold on to for when my friends are in need, and it's if you're going through something, don't feel like you have to keep it from me, or like you can't ask, because in the Bible there's a story where the man is holding the cross, or his hands up, I'm sorry, and they sent men to help hold his hands up. So I was told, you're carrying your cross, I want to help you carry your cross. I'm going to help you lift your hands.
That's so good.
So, and the reality is, you going through your stuff is going to help us heal in our thing, like things that we're keeping down and out and like hiding from everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like even like with us and our friendship too, I've been able to share and be vulnerable about certain things, and like there's beauty in that, right? Because like I literally felt lighter sharing certain things I've endured. Like, oh, somebody else, like, I can share this. Like it just feels lighter.
Yeah.
And so there's so much beauty in sharing things, like obviously with your your inner circle.
Yeah.
And
they love you differently.
Yeah.
Like knowing your scars and your wounds, it's like, okay, now I know how to love you more, or where you need the love. And now I appreciate this relationship more, because I know that you're not alone, I'm not alone, and we're going to get through this together.
And even sharing personal like things, like, you share things with me, both of you do, and like know that it will never go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's, like I said, like I get to help you better. Like she just said, like we get to help each other better. Like, okay, let me reach out because she shared this, right? So definitely like try to get past when you feel like, you're that, like I keep thinking of the word burden. It just feels like heavy in my mind and my heart lately, because I feel like a lot of people on social media, like when they do reach out to us, they're like, oh, like things that are happening are heavy. I don't want to bother anyone. And it's like,
I rebuke it in the name of Jesus.
literally.
Yes.
And
that's when you have to rely even more on your village.
Yes. And one of the things that we did that stood out when we first got close again and got connected was we were reading every day. And we were sending each other notes back and forth.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm tired. My notes look like chicken scratch, all of it. But like, read it. It's fine to have my notes. And we would share that. And I remember that helping me, because I was like, maybe almost 9 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant. Well, we started early off, but then reading those notes and like going back to it, it's like it set the foundation for our friendship. So like
awesome.
It's something important. Like read the word together, have Bible studies together, mix friends, like like bring people together. And I speak to myself too, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm in a funk. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I just want to be by myself. But then I notice that when I step out, I'm like, okay, this was nice. Like, I feel a little better.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, listen to your mind, listen to your body and your mind, everything. But just don't accept the lies of the enemy. So just learn to discern that.
Yeah, and isolation invites the enemy in. So
be
careful with that one.
That's when he creeps in when you're vulnerable.
Oh, absolutely.
It's when something always happens.
You know what? And I'm glad you said that, because I definitely feel like every time that I've been vulnerable about where I'm in, the enemy definitely seeps in. Like, specifically the most recent thing. And this is something I haven't told nobody. Y'all, I'm going through it.
Yeah.
I posted a little testimonial video about my past, and something I've never wanted to speak on. Like, once you die of the BC woman, it's like, she's before Christ. We don't know her.
Right. Don't bring that up anymore, ever again.
And I was like, you know what? I feel called to post my story. And it's like vulgar me before who I am today as a mom, smoking, drinking. And ever since I posted that, I feel like the attacks have been back to back to back. And it wasn't like, I almost had like an epiphany of it. Like, wait a second. I posted that and I was vulnerable and I know that reached someone. And now I'm going through it. So I have to remember that what I'm going through right now in the physical is already finished. Like, I just got to endure because the enemy's trying, but God got me.
Yes.
Literally, although my enemies surround me, God surrounds my enemies. So what's going on right now, and I feel like I'm being attacked, God's like, I got you. So yeah, that is true. But you know what? You push through that vulnerability because you're reaching other people in that. Like, doing this podcast is vulnerable.
You know, like, there's been times where, like, we have everything mapped out and something won't work. Like, literally, we were filming one time, powerful message, and the phone just, like, turned off. The system shut off. And, like, it gives me, like, goosebumps because, like, I know that's the enemy. Or, like, we had this podcast, and me and him were getting an argument over something so dumb. And then we look back, and we wasted all that time bickering when I could have released this video and helped somebody. And I know that this platform, like, is being used for a reason. Like, we felt called to do this because a lot of people come to either myself or Joey for advice, for specifically mental health, like, issues and concerns and anxiety, depression, and we've endured it ourselves. Like, he touches on things that he's experienced. I touch on things I've experienced, and strangers, but like people from, I don't know, we had a message from someone, and if you're watching, thank you so much again. But it was a long message that was like, thank you so much for like what you're pouring in. Like, I'm able to grow with you guys, and I'm ready to watch the next video. And so I'm getting goosebumps because it's so crazy because like that just goes to show if you're not being attacked, I don't know, what are you really doing?
Exactly.
Like, but you know you're on the right path when you're being attacked. And it sounds hard, but that's just the hard truth as a Christian, like as a mom, a wife, a friend, everything. Like, if you're being attacked, it's likely because you're serving a greater purpose that God has you called for. Like, even this podcast, like, I felt like it's leading up to it. I'm like, I don't know, like, what do I talk about? And it's just like everything we
so
always
much.
talk about. And then like I start to second guess, like, I don't know, but like I did the outline. Like, no, just talk, right? Like, we're all women. We all go through the same things. And so I'm happy we were able to touch on things. However, this doesn't have to conclude the first Mother's Day podcast because we're getting to that time. But it's been an honor. It's been great. I do want to start off with something silly that we're starting. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. It's a quick question. Okay. What is the weirdest thing that you found stuck onto you or like on your clothes after a full day of being with your kids?
Oh my gosh.
Like the weirdest thing. I can go first. Please, that way I can think. All right. So the weirdest thing I found, I breastfeed, right? So like when we go out to eat, I'm like, here, like drink the milk. And I'm like, it's a mess. I got the cover on me. Bro, I found like a French fry in my bra. Like, I'm taking a shower. I'm going to take a shower and I'm like, all right, unclip it. And then I'm like,
What's that? Oh,
what is that?
like,
That's happened before. Or like I found random things. Like it was from Ava mostly because she was just wild and crazy. Ezra, he's calm and just relaxed. But she was like breastfeeding and like grabbing the tape, like, grabbing the table for food. So I would say that was one of the weirdest things. Or I feel like in my hair, I have found food like in my hair.
I was just going to say, mine is definitely food in my hair. And it still happens. It still happens.
That's very
I have barbecue sauce in my hair. Like,
I feel like for me, I've probably gone places and like, dang, what's in my pocket? And I got like a onesie, a sock.
way.
You know when you got the big jeans with like the big pockets? I found laundry, baby, one individual sock. Like, where did this come from?
that's crazy.
I would find toys in my purse.
Oh,
I didn't know.
yeah.
Like Mateo would place them there, and then I go to the office. I'm like, oh, someone was here. Yeah.
And if you're like not with them and you find something that was like of them, you're like, I miss
them.
I do that. Like I was in the nail salon and like
real.
I'm like digging through my bag for my Kindle and I see like a little Barbie toy and I'm like, wait, should I have brought her? I'm like, I'm such a bad mom because like I didn't bring her to the nail salon even though I'm with her 24/7. But yeah, so that's one question. The next question is, what has been the most unusual treat that you have hidden from your kids? So like you want a sweet treat, but you gotta hide it because they're always like, can I have a snack?
No, for me, it's them jalapeno Cheetos.
No way.
How a 2-year-old like spicy? Yes. I be hiding hot Cheetos. I gotta.
No, same.
I told him, I said, one day I was eating, he's like, what's that? Can I have some? I'm like, oh no, you don't like them. They nasty. They spicy. No, the spicy don't even work now. He's like, oh, I like that. His favorite thing
Ava's
is
the same way.
like, dang, let me live, you little Spanish baby, liking the spices.
No,
I'm not a
literally.
big snacker. So for me, I don't really have
What if it's like a food, like
Like
a
ice
meal?
cream, like he doesn't like ice cream. Like I've literally had to go like this.
You know what my problem
Me?
is? You know what my problem is just that Mateo's the one that gives the idea, and then I'm like, I want that
you're
too,
right.
and so we go
Okay,
and do
that's
it.
cute,
Like
that's cute.
like 2 nights ago, he was like, "Mommy, I want McDonald's," and I was like,
Let's do
I
it.
want
I want
McDonald's.
McDonald's
too.
money. Let's go.
Yes.
One thing about me is I'm gonna go
What's
ahead
stopping
and
us?
get
Yep.
right.
So I think we're in that stage.
Oh,
It's
I love
coming.
it, though.
It's
Oh,
coming.
yeah, 'cause-
You'll have a snack where you gotta be like, damn, let me just stuff it in the purse.
Or for
Yeah.
me, like right now is gum. Like
I'm not ready
I was
for
gonna
that.
say for me, I guess lollipops because I'm terrified that they're gonna come off of like
stem?
this.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I
Little
do
flat,
hide
skinny
it when I
ones.
want a lollipop. I just don't. I eat it at my job.
Valid.
That's
fair.
fair. You're hiding from it. Like literally, I'll have gum. Like if you hear my purse, Nicole's like, shh. I'm like, oh no. She's like, she wants gum, and then she knows how to chew it. Like she
Yeah.
literally would chew gum for like an hour. But it's like, dang, like what if I had one piece left? Like I don't want to give it to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it to you. That's the truth. But and then another one was, what is your go-to? I need a break escape, even if it's for 5 minutes. A quick 5 minute, like, what is your go-to?
This is awful, but a shower.
Oh,
Okay.
Dita, that was me. I know what you. When I was at home, I get that.
Yeah. Like a shower
Okay.
would be like my quick go-to.
I think mine is TikTok. I'm not proud.
Yeah.
No, but it, like
No,
the doom
that's
scroll
real
thing.
though.
Yeah,
It's like
literally,
doom scrolling
I
for
don't
5
that-
minutes or
Or y'all, a poop. If I have to poop, because I never
Yeah.
get to poop. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest.
She is Danny's wife.
All
That's
the way.
crazy.
I'm gonna lock that bathroom. I'm
No
gonna be
way,
on
no way,
TikTok,
no
or I'm gonna
way.
be editing the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my time. And they'll be at
Yeah.
the door like, "Mommy, what you doing? Can I?" Like,
Yeah.
no, get out. I'm trying to poop in peace.
yeah.
That's probably the
hard.
same, like scrolling or scrolling in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'm about to
In the shower.
behind in the shower.
Yeah.
Voice memos, like
Yeah.
letting
That's
it out.
accurate.
We do it really often. Like I do
Yeah.
send her voice memos. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm in the shower. Send me because you hear in the background.
I gotta flush the toilet. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm
peeing.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't stop. Like,
Yeah, no.
Like,
Mm-mm.
before I start,
No,
like,
that's
hold on, let
real.
me pee first.
And then, or let me flood. Yeah, no.
No.
Now I'm like water running.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going through it, girl. These kids not listening. They're not in bed.
And I'm trying to poop. Like,
And you hear everything in the background.
Yeah, no, I hate to say this, like, I mean, it's a good thing to shower, but remember,
Yeah.
showers are requirements.
I know.
Like, you know, like, not in a bad way, but that's like self-care, essential self-care
Yeah.
to live,
Yeah.
right? So that can't fully be your escape.
Yeah.
So I challenge you to try to, like, you know, get your shower time. It is hard
Yeah.
because when I showered, I have a picture. They're both sitting on the end of the bathtub, like,
Yes.
you know, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna look back on these moments and I'm gonna be like, man,
Yeah.
there's no kid on the shower.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
But there's also gonna be that like, thank God, I can take a
Yeah.
like,
the
there's not somebody
curtain's not
staring
touching
at
me
me.
because he's not moving.
Yes, yes. But like definitely try to find different outlets. I think like for me, I want to start like I started reading, you know, the Kindle. So I read maybe like 10 or 12 books since I had Ezra, which is like I don't
That's
really
good.
read.
Right?
That is good.
I was like getting lost. I don't know. I didn't read unless I had to.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Bible, I would read the Bible, and that's another thing too. Make sure you incorporate like Bible time. So I feel like when I've said to like Joey, like I need you to take these kids for like 10, 15 minutes so I can read, and I read, and then I felt like, okay, how can I be so angry or frustrated? Like you literally can't be angry after reading the word. Like after you read, you feel full. And then there's also the times where like you read and like if you experience this is someone like I'm someone who experiences this. I will read and sometimes I feel the same way. And because I didn't feel better, I won't read again because it didn't help in that moment.
Yeah.
So definitely trying to find like outlets and like coloring and like going for a walk. Like coloring is cool
Coloring
too.
is cool too.
You know? But the shower is so real. But I saw a video, it was like we have to stop considering the necessities
As a break.
as a luxury. Like a shower is not a luxury.
Or, like,
that's what you need. You know, like
The idea of like, oh, I'm helping you because I'm watching them while you No, you're their dad. This is you do that. Or like if it's just that stigma of like, well, I have to ask. Like I don't want to ask for him to watch the kids so I can go and take a minute myself. Like I think I struggle with that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So breaking that is important.
That part. And not only that, moms naturally carry, and this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of men, I feel like. But women are the natural caregiver, like the nurturer. Like, I noticed that the kids, like, they do go to Joey, but they come to me for like, I need this. And they put my pants, oh, I need, like, Ava's like, give me this, I need this. And it's like, it's nothing against the men, but it's just women are
What not the
they're
primary it's not primary caretaker, but like we're the first one they go to.
literally.
And
Keep in mind, we bond the most with them when they're a baby. So I feel like they become more like with dads, from what I've seen, even from cousins and stuff like that. Like once they hit like 5 and above, then it begins like, oh, dad's my best friend.
I don't know about I feel like
But
Ezreal,
but not for like essential stuff. Like if they need anything, toothpaste, anything they might need, they're always gonna go to mom. But I think it's because they see you doing that kingdom work day in, day out, so they know you're gonna have the answer for them. They know.
Yes.
It's like us. Who do we go to when we're feeling down? God, because He has the answers. Like, so they kind of like we're kind of mirroring that for them.
Yeah.
that's
Because
good.
they know that we know. So they naturally, they're like, I won't go to dad if I know dad is not going to know, because I know my mom knows.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is so good.
Now I'm gonna go up like, you need it, I got it. Okay, come on.
No, we definitely had to like, I have to remind myself sometimes that like, it's gonna be 4 years since I've had Ava. And I feel like I just gave birth.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's going fast. And in 10 years, she'll be 14.
Oh.
You see what I'm
Say
saying?
that. I'm like, wait for like full stop.
Talk about perspective. Like, time goes by so fast, and we just have to cherish it in the moment, but we also have to pour into ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay? We have to really pour into ourselves.
Because we model that for our kids in their future too.
You know what? That is so accurate. I feel like my mom always prioritized like providing, working hard, and that's me. Like, I don't know, my mom never did her makeup, never really like, once she had all 3 of us, she didn't take care of herself in terms of getting her nails done. She never had a break. Her break was Saturday, I'm deep cleaning the house and you're gonna clean with me. So that's my routine, and I drown in that. So like, knowing that I repeated that because that's what she did. I don't want that for my boys.
You're breaking that
exactly.
cycle.
Yes, that was the one topic that we briefly didn't touch on too much, but it's such a deep topic that I want to have you guys back for it. And it's breaking generational curses and what that looks like. So if you thought this was good, I want to talk about that, but I feel like that's a really deep topic to just touch on.
You need like
it's
a
one that's like you need to talk about. So like, I'm gonna be looking for y'all.
Okay.
For that.
We'll be here.
But overall, to end this, I do want to say thank you so much for your yes, right? Like, let our yeses be our yes and our no's be our no's. But I'm so grateful for your yes, for you guys being here amidst being a mom and the effort it takes to be here. I'm just overall grateful for that. And yeah, I'm so proud of you guys. Like, I always do this when I get around the women I love. Like, I don't know. It's just, don't ever feel alone. Remember that you're worth more than you know, right? Like, you're never a bother to me. I'm a night owl, so y'all are blessed with that. Like, seriously, like, if y'all, like, I'm up. So like, if you need me, no, for like, if it's 2 a.m. and you need me, I'm probably like gonna be up. I'm usually up, you know. So, and even if I'm not, you call me. You guys go through, like the do not disturb stuff. But anyway. Know that you're not a bother. You're worth more. The purpose of this was just to remind you guys that, like, you're not just a mom, right? You're a friend. You guys are worth so much, and I appreciate you guys. And I don't want to cry, so I'm not gonna like talk too much. But like, it really, really does change things for me. Seeing like my mom do things alone and not have that community that she deserved. That's another thing. Oh my gosh, like, something to say when you're having a hard time with your mom. It's their first time here too.
Yes.
It's her, it's my mom's first time.
There's
being
no handbook
40, like 45, was she 45? Like, it's her first time doing this. Just like it's our first time. So like, extend grace to other moms.
Absolutely.
Extend grace to yourself, because for me, like, I lash out, like, why you do that? I'm yelling at, them. I'm getting overwhelmed. But extend grace, because we're here. We're doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
So
you're right. It's real.
Well, that concludes the first. This is the first time we ever have anyone on the podcast, like any guests. You guys are the first guests,
right?
Yeah. So I'm very glad. I hope that if you're watching this, you know that you're loved. You're an amazing mom. Don't let anyone try to make you feel less than what you are, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No matter who it is. You don't receive anything negative that comes your way, and you reach out to the women around you. So
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much for watching our podcast today. And if you liked it, you loved it, and you want more guests, definitely let us know. And I'm going to offer y'all services. But I'm sure if you ever need someone, like we're all here.
Yeah,
like we are all women of God who will never let one just drown.
No.
So I can firmly say that. And just want to say, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.